Hey everyone, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, and today we're here with Jan and Nick Dalmulder. How do I say your last
Yeah,
names?
that's great. Dalmulder.
Dalmulder, perfect. And they're from Bitcoin Live. They've been doing tons and tons of interviews, putting out tons of great content. I was on their show recently as well, and we had a lot of great conversations there. So I wanted to bring them on my show and talk a little bit more about crypto investing and all that good stuff. So thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us, Scott. Really love being on your show now. Love talking to you the previous time. And yeah, really honored that you invited us back. So thanks.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be on.
Absolutely. Awesome. So can you just start off by telling us a little about each of yourselves?
Yeah, Nick, do you? Yeah.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. Well, I'm Jan, of course, of Bitcoin Live, one of the two Bitcoin Live brothers. I'm the oldest also, so maybe it's good for me to go first. Yeah, who am I? I'm 44 years old now, father of 4 sons, been married for 2 years, but been with my wife for about 12 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, 12
Congrats.
years. Yeah, really love her. I love my kids. I've got a dog since a few months. And I have too many hobbies to tell you guys, otherwise this interview will be over, but I will highlight a few. I love to travel. Well, that's not possible at this moment. I love to eat. I love to cook. Well, I can do both those things. I'm a retail manager doing my day job. Then when I'm free, I spend a lot of time with my kids until they go to sleep. And then I'll do Bitcoin Live with my brother, Nick. Got interested in crypto because of macroeconomics. I think the picture didn't fit. So something was wrong. And then we discovered Bitcoin, I think, in 2015. 2015. I tried to invest in Bitcoin, but I'm not a real techie, so it didn't work for me. I couldn't get my head around how should I buy and hold Bitcoin. So I forgot about it, and we talked about it, the two of us. And then in 2017, I think I bought my first piece of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And
XRP.
Yeah, XRP, of course, and Verge, I think. And then, yeah, we started diving into crypto more and more. And Nick and I were talking a lot about it and about other stuff, of course. But then I couldn't get out of crypto anymore. And then I thought, well, I'm always someone who wants to do stuff. So I thought we have to make videos and do other stuff with crypto and about crypto. So Nick was okay with it. And then we started off creating Bitcoin Live about 3 years now.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'll keep it a little bit shorter. So I'm 41, almost 42. That's next week. I think your birthday is also around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, how did I get started? I'm also in retail. I'm not a manager, but we work for the same company. I studied philosophy and cultural anthropology. So my interest is also in reading books a lot. I love reading books and expanding my horizon. I also love new ideas, new things coming around and checking them out. I'm not so good at doing stuff. That's why I got Jan. But we were talking a lot about Bitcoin and crypto, and like Jan said, we were into macroeconomics, and we saw it was basically the crash of 2007, 2008 that got us started, and then we came across Bitcoin and crypto, and the rest is history.
Awesome. Yeah. I kind of had a similar start with, same as you guys, where I kind of got in around 2017, 2018 as well. So, can you give us a bit of an introduction to how you got started with Bitcoin Live and what that journey's kind of been like for you guys?
Yeah. Well, we started out in Dutch, in our our home language, I should say, and we had about 30 followers for the first half year. We worked real hard. We made a lot of content, but it didn't stick. And it was two things: we weren't very good, and on the other hand, people in the Netherlands are maybe or were a little bit spoiled, so we couldn't attract them with giveaways or anything that we wanted to give away. So that didn't work, and also because I think in Holland the economic situation at that point was booming. So people weren't really interested in crypto, only the diehards and the techies. And then we thought, well, maybe we have to make a vision. Well, what do we want to do with our videos, and why do we want to do that? So we developed a vision and a mission. And our vision was to spread the word of crypto, and our mission was to get as many people involved in crypto and in blockchain, because we think we think that it's the tech of the future. So then we thought, well, Bitcoin Live, it's about live, because we do live shows, and Bitcoin, and we are living our Bitcoin Live together. And
and it's also like a broader philosophy. We wanted to encapsulate everything. It's also the culture behind crypto and the philosophy, and also just the bigger picture, life itself. So life has a lot of connotations we like about it. And then it turned out that Peter Brandt has a similar name as we do, but he's okay with it. But we actually put our philosophy or our whole idea behind Bitcoin Live in an interview we did with Blockcast at the beginning of last year. And it's basically, we think about win-win-win, where everybody wins. We do the giveaways, which we like to do because we like to give. But then the person who receives the giveaway also wins a nice prize, but also gets interested and gets his first crypto,
and he has
to open a wallet to receive it, and then that person might think, oh, this is kind of interesting, let's look more into it, and then they can look at us, and then we grow, of course, with each person that starts following us, and then we can do bigger giveaways.
And they spread the feeling of Bitcoin Live, and the feeling is that you give something without expecting something back
in return.
But we grow together, and they can hopefully enjoy themselves if they watch our videos, but they can learn from us, but also especially from the guests who are on our show, because we have specialists in the crypto and blockchain space from all parts, and different industries, or NFT artists who come on, and then you can learn in a free way, and also maybe earn something,
and in a fun way,
or get an NFT or something, and then you can spread the crypto virus through your family and friends. And this is a good virus.
Because the third win is basically that the entire crypto world grows with adoption. So we just want to spread adoption as far and wide as we can, and that's the idea, the premise behind Bitcoin Live.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah, and I see you guys are interviewing tons and tons of people. You're putting me to shame on how many interviews you guys are doing and putting out. It's almost like every day I see. Do you guys have like a schedule, or like what you're aiming to do, like for how many interviews you do, or is it just kind of as things come, you just do those?
It's a bit of both. I just talked to Love is the Answer, Nathan, in the previous interview we did just before this one. So we have a time slot each Tuesday and Thursday night, and we try to get 2 or 3 people from the blockchain or crypto space on Bitcoin Live. And then we have the Sunday chat, and then we have at least 2, but sometimes even on Sunday. So we try to get about 7 interviews each week. And sometimes we have more people who contact us to be on Bitcoin Live, and then we have to, sometimes say, well, okay, maybe next week. But we always try to make time for anyone who has something interesting to say. And it doesn't matter to us if you have 5 followers or 10,000 or 100,000. It just, if it matches with Bitcoin Live, and if you want to help people, then you're on.
And also we have some recurring guests, because we also want to create a network of expertise, because our expertise is limited in a lot of areas. I mean, crypto is just too big to
know everything.
So we got somebody who's specialized in NFT, somebody who's an artist, somebody who's
the crypto curator,
artificial intelligence, or somebody who's into the news, who curates the news. So
Paul McNeil,
awesome guy, by the way. So we try to create a network of people other people might find interesting to follow.
From all different sides and aspects of, and of course, big influencers. And that's awesome in this space, because a lot of people helped us out. So like Kenneth Bosak helped us out and inspired us, but also Girl on Crypto, Crypto Wendy, Crypto Finally. They all been on our show. And that's what I really love. And the Wolf of Wall Street, David Goldstein named them, and they're on Bitcoin Live, and they just help people. And that's what we love about this space. We try to help others, but other people will help us also. And of course, Scott Cunningham came on our show, and now we're live on his show. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, all comes round circle. Yeah, and I've had a lot of those people on my show as well. So it's cool how interconnected the crypto influencer sort of space is. So that's really awesome. So what is your general approach when it comes to investing in crypto? Do you have, certain fundamentals you're looking for? Are you doing a lot of speculative investing? Can you break that down for the viewers?
Yeah, I think we have to both do
separate.
Yeah, separate, because Nick has a totally different style and approach than I do.
Okay.
I'm a little bit of the risk taker of the two. Nick likes to think things through, but he can talk for himself in a few moments. What I used to do and do is I search for speculative coins a lot, and then I look at which company is behind it, which sometimes which influencers promote it for the short run, which tech is used. Do I believe in it? Do I see upside in it? If I see a new exchange, a DEX, like 1 inch, I just buy it, because I believe that in the short run it will go up. And then if I can make a profit, then I'll sell it, and then I coin hop to some other project. And there are some projects that I believe in for the long run, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Stellar, XLM, but also Chainlink. I see a lot of potential in a lot of coins, Ocean, and VeChain, and I just look at which companies like Microsoft or PricewaterhouseCoopers, existing companies, invest in those coins and stay in those coins, and then I hold them for the longer time. So I flip around a lot of my money. And during the bull market, we got in like I said, in 2017. We learned a lot of, we made a lot of mistakes and learned the hard way to lose a little bit of money. But I flipped it around in the bear market. So I made 2 exits, I think, during my total investment during the bear market. So now I have positions when I want to get out of a coin. So if I see a certain amount of upside, I will sell it and turn it into Bitcoin. Yep. So that's my strategy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm more of a value investor, and I more look at the fundamentals of different coins. And sometimes Jan comes with different suggestions, and then I'll just look at how Jan is doing. Sometimes I forget to ask how they're doing, and then it turns out they're doing really great, and then I'm a little bit too late. But usually I pick the really solid coins. I really love, I call myself a Chainlink Marine. I got a big Chainlink position. I love the Ethereum, Bitcoin, but also Decred, Digibyte, the real solid projects with a great community, good utility, a good future also, future prospects. And yeah, of course, what Jan also says, if there's big companies behind them, that gives me an even better feeling. I mean, with Ethereum, when you look at the Ethereum Foundation,
yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's so large. I have no doubt that Ethereum is going to make it. So that's my strategy. And sometimes when Jan comes along with an interesting smaller project or more speculative project, I'll jump in because Jan tested the waters, and I'll come along for the ride. And yeah, I'll take some profit, put it into Bitcoin, and that's how I roll.
Awesome. So you both like to kind of, once you get your profits, you typically pull them out and then go back to the basics, go back to Bitcoin.
Well, I always keep some left in the project. I find it difficult to take it all out. Mm-hmm. I still got positions in Digibyte and Chainlink. If I get a real solid project, I'll usually stay in it for a longer time. But I'll take some of the profits into Bitcoin, yeah.
Awesome. Do you think there's going to be a stock market crash, and how is that going to impact the crypto space?
Yeah, we have certainly we have a theory about that and premonition, I should say. We think because of the pandemic that's going on, there was already a blown up market built by the Fed, who's printing money. And of course, in Europe, with the European Central Bank, who's just doing the same. And in Japan, it also happened or is happening. So we see a lot of balloon markets and zombie companies with lots of, just printed money, printed dollars, printed euros, printed yens. So we sort of expected it before the pandemic broke out to have a stock market crash.
Yeah.
And you cannot say that I believe that the virus is real, but I don't think all the measures should be like they are, especially here in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But okay, that's a different discussion. But what we think, or what I think, is that at a certain moment, the measures will sort of disappear and the virus will be controlled, or like a normal virus or like the flu or something in a few years. And I think that when the companies have to reopen, when people are vaccinated, then the damage will show. The smaller companies will not exist anymore, and then people don't have any money, and they have to liquidate their holdings in stocks, in gold, in silver, in crypto, and then I think you will see a broader market crash. So also maybe the Bitcoin and the crypto market crash, they will follow a little bit down the line, but then all that money has to find a way out. And because of banks are regulated and can enter the crypto market, I think smart money will flow back into Bitcoin and crypto, the bigger cryptos, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Stellar, stuff like that. And then you will have an explosion in the crypto market, and you have dirty fiat money that nobody wants. Yeah. And when it's hard to say, but I think that somewhere in 2021 this will happen.
Yeah, or soon, 22.
Maybe 22, but as soon as the how do you say it, the measurement, the maatregelen,
and the measures,
the measures are taken off, then we'll see the real damage this has done.
And I think already you see the damage because demand is picking up again, and you see that supply isn't there. So the supply shock that was created by the COVID crisis has been devastating. Supply chains have been broken. And you see that big port cities in China, for example, they used to have like 30 days of what you don't know, copper or zinc or whatever, and now it's just 3 days supplies they have left. So you see, if you order a refrigerator or washing machine, it takes much longer for them to ship it to you. One of the persons I like to surround myself always with people who I trust. So I try to find authorities in the field. That's also how I do my crypto investing, like Chico Crypto or some other people I really trust, and they give solid advice. And another person, when it comes to macroeconomics, is Raoul Pal from Real Vision, but also Maren Katusa from Katusa Research. And I try to create a network of people that paint a picture for me. But I think, and of course I also use my own judgment, but I think what Jan says is true. But I also think when you look at central banking, they have some kind of play. And I think also when you look at the Great Reset, what the World Economic Forum is talking about, so it seems they're liking that. It seems like they're setting it up for a big crash. And up till now, there always was like a Fed put. So the markets always thought, well, we got the backup from the Federal Reserve. But I think the next crash, they'll just let it crash and burn, and then the central banks can scoop up the commercial banks and other banks and turn it all in one big central bank. And then the CBDCs come around, and I think they'll hook it all up to Bitcoin because obviously they don't trust each other. But so I think a crash is coming, and it will be a huge one. I'm also a fan of Jim Rickards. And he has been predicting a lot of things, and they all come true, weirdly enough. And a big crash is one of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We are definitely in uncertain times. And I guess my hope is that even if some people liquidate some of their Bitcoin, a lot of people are going to see the need for cryptocurrency and then like rush into the market, especially, once there's like announcements of whether or not the Great Reset will actually happen, different things like that. I think people will be like rushing to have their money secure somewhere because they could reset almost everything, but they can't reset cryptocurrency. So, that's going to be really, really huge for a lot of people. And I think that's going to be a really big hedge against and a coming crash of any kind. So what are your predictions? I mean, obviously not financial advice or, 100%. If you had to make a prediction, when do you think, if it will Bitcoin hit 100,000?
I think it will exceed 100,000 this year. I think we also know a little Plan B. We follow him, and we've spoken to him via DM a couple of times. He's from Amsterdam as well. He has the stock to flow model, of course, and he has been criticized about this model. But this is a very educated man, and he knows a lot about not only Bitcoin but about economics as well. There's a great interview with him and Preston Pish and Jeff Booth.
Yeah.
You can check it on YouTube.
But Bitcoin did.
I think that because of the regulations and because of parties like what they're called BlackRock. Also fiated Bitcoin by saying that you should have it in your portfolio, and then banks are allowed to hold Bitcoin. Large energy companies are getting into the crypto scene and have been doing so also silently. Some countries are starting to mine Bitcoin, like also in America, in New York, but Iran is doing it, and in Russia they have been building lots and lots of farms for mining Bitcoin. China is also very known for mining Bitcoin, of course. So for me, I think this will be the year because of the regulation is getting clearer and clearer. Also with the case with XRP and Ripple. So when there will be regulatory clarity, I think we will see a totally different kind of money flowing into it, and institution will start rushing. I saw today another company bought for about $100,000 to put their cash into Bitcoin. Grayscale is buying up every piece of Bitcoin they can find. Of course, Michael Saylor and his company is also buying up the Bitcoin by the shitload. I don't know how to say it, but so I think there will not be much Bitcoin left on exchanges, and then there's something else will happen. Not maybe 5 or 10% in a day, but maybe it will flip. I think double in a day.
The supply in exchanges is drying up. That's clear, and so the supply, the demand is picking up. So and the supply is drying up. So.
Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is just what I have searched for and looked and learned, and I heard from others, of course. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin will hit 200K this year before the end of the year.
Well, I agree. Yeah, I think, the super cycle theory of Dan Held, I think it holds a lot of water because everything seems to be coming together. It has been coming together for a while now. And it's, the macroeconomic situation, but also geopolitical tensions are rising. Bitcoin is becoming more and more prevalent in the mainstream. And the self-reinforcing loop you get at a certain moment becomes too strong, and countries will start announcing that they have been mining it and hoarding it. And if that happens, it's like the next phase in that cycle.
I think I just heard today that there was also a country fiating Bitcoin to hold as a treasury. And if that's I don't know, I couldn't check it if it's true, but if that's true, then there will be more sheep across. How do you say it? Well, across the dam.
It's a Dutch saying.
Yeah. But then more big money will flow into Bitcoin like we have never seen before. Then you will talk about maybe not 1 billion in 12 years, but 1 billion in a couple of months.
Yeah. I actually like my little prediction, so to speak, is 300,000 for this year because I've seen predictions that are even higher than that, but that's kind of how I've been looking at it and investing. And my sort of strategy for the rest of the year is if it hits 60,000 by March, I'm very confident that it'll hit 300,000 before the end of the year. And if that happens, I mean, that's going to be super impactful for a lot of people. It's going to change lives. And I mean, just recently, there's some cities here in North America that are starting to take part of their treasuries and invest in Bitcoin as well. So, and as you were saying, like with the shortage of supply that we're going to see, it's just going to, make it more exponential. And interestingly enough, a lot of these prediction models were not even taking into account COVID or the massive inflation and the money supply. So it all kind of just, snowballs, and I think it's just going to be a very, very wild year for a lot of people who did get in. And to that point, everyone that I know is like messaging me lately saying, how do I invest in this? What do I do? What do I do? Yeah. So you can definitely sort of see that even just in, the people around you, that they're all starting to, get in, and they're saying, I wish I invested a year ago, but let's get in now. And you're seeing a lot of that now. So do you think that the halving cycles have a lot to do with this? Is it more based on the speculation and the geopolitical stuff? Like, what role do you feel like that has in the price?
I think the halving is very important for Bitcoin itself because you know what's going to happen with your Bitcoin that you hold. There will be less Bitcoin coming into the market every 4 years, and every week there will be exact same amount of Bitcoin coming on the market. So if the demand goes up, then you know that something is going to happen to the price. So that's one thing, but we know that since 12 years, so that hasn't changed. But instead of a bank lowering the rates, you know that Bitcoin will also rise. If the demand stays the same, the price of Bitcoin will go up. That's just fact and built into Bitcoin. So that's also a reason to hold Bitcoin no matter what happens. But then because of the macroeconomics, all the printing of dollars, yens and dollars and euros, it's just out of this world. If countries just say in the Netherlands we had almost no deficit, and now we're just printing money like crazy. And our central bank CEO said we have to keep printing money. We have to keep printing money as long as the pandemic going on. It doesn't matter if our default rises. It's good to help the economy until the end of the pandemic. That's just one country. And then if you look around the world, every country is doing the same. Just print shitloads of money. It will sometime it will have to flow into something else. And I think Bitcoin has the best name. Bitcoin is the safest network. Any network on the world, Bitcoin is the safest one. It will stay online even if two computers hold it during a solar storm or whatever, or even an asteroid impact won't phase out Bitcoin. So that's the other part. And then because of the pandemic, and people will spend more time online because they can't do anything else, they will discover Bitcoin because they see internet the whole day if they're chilling at home.
And that's why we need to make more content.
Because people will get in contact with Bitcoin and crypto.
But I think also what people are not realizing is that the money that's being spent by governments is going largely into non-productive loans. So it's basically only propping up the current system, keeping the lights on, as some people say. And it's not really reinvesting into in future technology, or it's just not investing into the future. So once these things roll over, it can only lead to bankruptcies if they don't print even more to keep the cycle going. And at a certain moment, people just lose trust in the system. That's inevitable. If you see the value of your money shrink each passing day, at a certain moment, people will start thinking there's something wrong with this system.
Yeah, you can look at the real estate market. It's just exploding around the world.
Yeah, and also because they can only save it with MMT probably to keep it going. But I also think, Jeff Booth makes a really valid point that technology is also a big driving force of the deflation that's going on.
Yeah.
It's these like tectonic plates that are pushing against each other, and central banks, they need the inflation to pay off their debts. But they, of course, the debts only get bigger. And the deflationary forces of demographics and technology and debt and defaults, at a certain moment, one of these, they will shift, or will have massive deflation or inflation. It's inevitable. Yeah. One of these will win. And
both are not very good for people who are not in crypto.
But the halving is a very important part of that. So far, it's very hard to. I think people think, they often say it's priced in, but it's like when you go to the supermarket and suddenly there's no more potatoes or there's no more apples. Only then you start thinking, oh my God, I need to buy all the apples that are still left. It's only when the supply shock happens. Also, with COVID, we had a supply shock, and you now see prices increase because people are now realizing, oh, we don't have any copper left. Oh, we don't have this left. And then you see the supply increase. So I don't think you can price this stuff in. It just happens when it happens. And maybe when big institutions come in, you see less volatility and the market becomes more stable and the halvings have less effect. But until that time, if you get in early, you get the huge benefit of those rises. Because even if it goes at a certain moment from $1,000 to $1,000, and those increases, if you get in there, those increases are like 3% or 2%. But if you got in at $100, those price increases are huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also say that there's probably a lot of people who have no idea about the halving at all. So, to saying, it might be priced in, I would say such a small percentage of people actually look at, the technology behind Bitcoin to know what they're investing, whereas most people are just kind of speculating and they're seeing all this crazy stuff going on and then they're getting in. So they're not super aware of what's going to happen. And thus they might, sell out or buy at different times. Just kind of not super aware of that cycle. But yeah, it'll definitely become more and more obvious as people look more and more into Bitcoin. And as you were saying, with the system being broken, my favorite philosopher, Alan Watts, said in 1960 that money is a technology, and until we fix it or improve it somehow, people are going to become more and more increasingly distrusting of how our money works and how the money system works. So, I think that's really interesting that even 50, 60 years ago, people were still, speculating on how money needs to be changed, improved, and, almost laying the groundwork for cryptocurrency. And now we finally have that, and it seems to be, working out really, really well for the people who are finally getting involved. Do you think that Ethereum is going to grow more than Bitcoin in the next year or 2 years? Essentially, the way I'm looking at it is that while Bitcoin is always going to be worth more per Bitcoin because of scarcity, Ethereum has a lot more room to grow for all the things that could be developed on it. And just for, what it's competing with. I would say gold and Bitcoin are kind of competing each other, whereas Ethereum is more like programmable money. So if we saw something like tokenized stocks, for example, that would be extremely game-changing for Ethereum. So what are your thoughts on Ethereum?
Yeah, well, you touched on a lot of points there, but I already saw Solo getting into the tokenized stocks. It's a Sologenic.
Okay.
So I think they will have them live in a few weeks already. But there's also different companies in blockchain sphere looking at this exact point. So tokenized stocks, but also tokenized real estate. So you can participate in just buying a brick of a nice building that's being built, or the whole building, or multiple buildings if you have a lot of cash or crypto. So that's coming along, and everything like Ethereum for me is like the new virtual computer, but then worldwide.
Yeah.
So if Bitcoin is gold, or the store of value, then Ethereum is the ultimate computer, and everything is built on Ethereum. Okay, we have Tron and we have some other Ethereum lookalikes, but there's no other Ethereum. And there's so many talented people working on Ethereum in some way, and also building on it, but also trading with it and putting DeFi on it and CeFi on it. And tokenized stocks are coming, tokenized real estate, and the NFTs and games being built on Ethereum. So I think it's almost unimaginably getting bigger in the coming years. So I think that Ethereum could easily reach 10 or 20K in the next couple of years, and maybe this year it will surpass 5 to 10K.
I hope not. I need to buy more.
True, but yeah, you have so much money, and you have to always think about, because this is not financial advice, but what I always do, I always pay my bills. I put my money in the accounts for what you need for your car, for maybe when your washing machine breaks down, that you have something on the side, and then the money that I have left over, that I invest in Bitcoin and crypto.
Yeah.
So don't put in money that you can't afford to lose, because when something breaks down and you have to sell your Bitcoin when it's on the low, then you can go broke or get in real problems. But getting back to the question, I think that Ethereum will skyrocket, and in the future, maybe 4 or 5, 6 years into the future, and its skills, ETH 2.0 or 3.0 in the future will work, and it will scale better, and the fees will go down. Then it could go up even higher, I think.
Yeah, you see a lot of programmers using Solidity, and I think it's becoming like a universal language, and they have the most developers working on it anyway, except maybe for Bitcoin. I haven't checked lately, and they have the most transactions are being performed on Ethereum. I think it's like 10 times or maybe even more than Bitcoin. It's used for so many dApps. I think development will continue, and the upside potential is enormous. The only thing I sometimes worry about is the people using it. The NFT artists, to name some, they have, of course, problems pricing their products on Ethereum
because of the gas fees.
Yeah, because of the gas fees, but also just because of Ethereum itself. Is your artwork the same as $600 or $6,000? So those kind of things are interesting because it's very dynamic. But Ethereum has, I think, Ethereum rules the virtual machine part, and maybe Bitcoin will start. You might see an integration of both into each other. Bitcoin taking features from Ethereum and Ethereum taking features from Bitcoin, or using each other. We always say Bitcoin is like the tree the Merkle tree where everything grows on, and Ethereum is one of its biggest branches. Yeah, and carries the most fruit. But I think Ethereum will be huge, much bigger than it's now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And to your point, mentioning tokenized real estate, I've been investing in Realty tokens, which is a great company that has properties in the US, and they just tokenize them, and then they pay out in USDC stablecoin every week or so. And I think it's a really great project, and almost all of their properties sell out in just like a few days, which is pretty amazing. I haven't seen a lot of good real estate tokenized projects, but I'm always looking for more, because I definitely think that's going to be a really great way for people to get exposed to real estate and crypto at the same time. And otherwise, like I don't own any real estate, so this is the most like legitimate piece of real estate that I own. Like I have some REIT stocks, but I wouldn't consider it the same, where I actually own a small percentage of an actual property. So I really like that concept.
And I think Also, one more point with
Yeah.
Ethereum. I think if people just look at the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, just at the list of companies that are investing or backing Ethereum, it's like in alphabetical order. Yeah, I think that says enough
Yeah.
to any skeptic about the potential of Ethereum.
Yeah, I remember seeing a list of all the companies that are building on Ethereum, and names like IBM, Microsoft, JP Morgan Chase. Like, you've got so many massive companies that are building on Ethereum, and that's definitely going to play out very nicely for people who invested in Ethereum. And as you also mentioned before, like with Tron and EOS and other dApps, a lot of them I don't see getting a ton of adoption. A lot of them are kind of gambling focused, I would say. Not a ton of gambling on Ethereum compared to Tron and EOS. But that's fine, because Ethereum is doing a great job at what it's doing. They obviously need to do better with the gas fees, and once that's fixed, it's smooth sailing from there. So what do we need to happen to get more adoption or to reach mass adoption for Bitcoin, for cryptocurrency? Like, what are some things that you think we need to see in the next few years?
Okay, I think that we need to see a few things. I think that we in the crypto space you can have competition, but we shouldn't attack each other or say this influencer is crap or this token is crap, only if it's really true. But otherwise, don't fight each other. But you can be critical to each other, but try to help others improve so we can be a better visiting card for the space.
Yeah,
that's one. I think that that the big institutions will maybe accidentally fiat crypto and blockchain. And then we have to have a good story to tell the people who will be more interested in learning about crypto and blockchain. So they will pay a large part of the adoption that's coming. I think the regulation, because of if you hold Bitcoin dear, we're also a little bit of, well, I couldn't say anarchistic, but we think that the governments have failed us a little bit. But you also need regulation. You have to sort of have regulation to make it bigger, to grow, because otherwise institutions and banks cannot enter the market. And maybe we can lose some of the scams, because there's also, shamefully enough, a lot of people who are taking advantage of people who are entering the market and don't know anything about Bitcoin or crypto, and they just are taken advantage of. So it's good to have some regulations to get those people out of the crypto space. And I think when the market crash happens, and I think it will this year, or maybe 2022 on the last part, then the crash will force people to accept crypto. And then there's one more, the CBDCs that are coming, and they are coming. We cannot deny it. I'm not very happy about it, but I think we cannot stop that movement. They will make crypto accessible for everyone, because if you have to have a wallet to accept your CBDCs, if you are paid for a company, for working for a company, you cannot not have a wallet. Then they will also more easily start accepting Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all other cryptos, because they are used to having a wallet. So I think CBDCs will bring mainstream adoption for the last 80% to enter the market.
Yeah, so and also to the
next coming 3 or 5 years, everyone will have crypto.
Also to that last point, I think big companies who are seeing those CBDCs coming, they do want to allocate some of their treasury to Bitcoin in order for those CBDCs not to capture it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I think
so the first
they're quite scary, and that might actually accelerate the process of at least Bitcoin adoption. But I think the whole space with Bitcoin, because I kind of agree with Dan Held's vision, and that's basically Satoshi's vision, that the price of Bitcoin is very important, because the higher the price is, the more users, the higher the price, the more users. And the safer and securer the network becomes, and the more valuable it is and more attractive for big companies. Because one of the issues with Ethereum, of course, for big companies is it's not that secure, and also it's kind of in a phase transition right now, going from proof of work to proof of stake. And it's like a company that suddenly throws its whole business model around, and you kind of have to start over again and build trust again and see if it works and holds. And Bitcoin, of course, has that security. It's like the ultimate secure, the pristine collateral, as they like to say. But yeah, I think adoption comes mostly with price. Price will reach a certain level, a psychological level. That also has to do with the money printing, because big companies, they see their treasury they had in cash, and they see their cash becoming worthless. So they need something that increases in value. And as they see Bitcoin move up the ladder, and it goes to maybe 100K or something along those lines, maybe 300K, then they see the light and they say, okay, this isn't a one-off, this is the real thing. And they'll step from denial and ridicule and stop fighting it and accept it. And they'll force the governments to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot that we want to see, but I mean, a lot of that is all kind of coming together. So that's definitely a really good thing as well. So what are some altcoins that you guys are holding in anticipation for Altseason, as we like to call it?
Yeah,
you have a nice word for it.
I would like to introduce a new hashtag, Altseason. I think Bitcoin will go up, but a lot of good alts will also rise at the same time. So that will be a first, I think. So Altseason. But the coins that I find very interesting is AVA.
Okay.
It was AVA Land, but they have also the coin AVA. It already rose dramatically. I've held it since the beginning, so it 100x'd on me, I think.
Wow.
Shame for me. I small position, but well, it's a nice position now, and I will not sell it. And why? Because Grayscale is also buying AVA, and AVA is a lending coin. There is also into DeFi, and you see it on all the better platforms. They on some time they add AVA on there. Okay, so that's one. Then I hold REN. I think REN will do nicely in this run. REN can also capture the value of Bitcoin on Ethereum. And I think they have a marketplace that looks very well, and it works really smooth. So that's one. Then RSR, reserve rights. I think it will be a very big one. SNX, synthetics.
Yeah.
Why? Because they are gonna do what's it called, Nick, in English?
Derivatives.
Derivatives. They've got some big players behind it, and Ocean, and Microsoft is in Ocean. It's I think it will be one of the big risers. And then this is just a favorite of mine, but people always do your own research. So not a financial advice, of course. I cannot see
your own portfolio.
Yeah, my own portfolio. Swissborg. Yeah. It's a company from Switzerland who has been around for years and years in banking. They have billions of dollars already there, and now they have entered the crypto market and built an exchange, and are really transparent, and they do DeFi. And I think they do it pretty well. It has had a nice little run. I think I 10x'd on it, but they had a little pull down now, and I think it will go up again. You can hold your USDC, and if you're a premium account holder, then you get 20% on that. Yeah, and it's sustainable. And they do buybacks each time there's the Swissborg token CHSB. Goes down a little bit, then they automatically, and they always tell you about it transparently, they'll buy back their own token, and they burn it, and everything is audited. So and I've met the CEO via a Zoom call. really great guy, and they're also nice. They're building a nice community, and they're expanding really fast.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of trust in them, but still, that's my opinion. So do your own research.
Yeah.
So and then I have lots more. VeChain is one. That's my last one I'm gonna show. VeChain, I think they have built and built and built during the bear market. All big companies are in there, BMW, PricewaterhouseCoopers, who you name him, and they're in it. And then the Chinese government have placed them above all cryptos who are in, what's that
The
called?
BSN.
The BSN. And then VeChain is above it. So I think then when China will pump their money into crypto, VeChain will just skyrocket. I think it will go to a few dollars, and it's now, I think it's trading at 2 cents or something. So I'm holding a lot of VeChain. Yeah.
And to that point also with China, you got the Ethereum network, what we were just talking about. But if China starts backing a certain competitor, that's also a thing to watch out for. But yeah, altcoins, I really like Digibyte a lot. I always look at the product, the users, and the utility and the backers of a certain product. And I think Digibyte is one of the most secure chains. That was always their feature. A focus on security was their focus. And they're doing digital assets soon. So I think that will be really interesting. And yeah, they have a huge volunteer community. And I also like Decred because of its governance model. I think it's one of the most interesting governance models out there, and it makes it very versatile and adaptive to to scale and to change their community and their project in a fluid way. And besides that, Chainlink, of course, I like Polkadot a lot. I think Polkadot is going to be really interesting, especially in combination with Ethereum. I don't think it's a competitor. And Robonomics, I like a lot of those projects that build something new.
I have to add one more when Nick is finished.
Yeah, now we're going. I won't shield them.
Okay, then one final one from me, Energy Web Token.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, and why? Yeah. Because they're into the energy market, and then all the big stakeholders are like Shell, the oil company, E.ON from the power companies, BNP Paribas, many very, very rich companies are in it with billions and billions and billions of dollars, and also Tesla, and they are gonna use the blockchain to make you your own energy company. So if you have solar panels or an electric car and you can hold energy, then they can you can sell your energy to other people
via the auto bidder. It's a really interesting system, and I've been trying it out in Holland and other places, and it works really nicely. And I just think they're waiting for the go ahead to roll it out. It's like virtual power plants, they call it. They've been experimenting with. I also want to mention Celsius. We just had somebody of Celsius on the show, and it's really it's something I'm gonna dive into. It's really interesting. It's a bit like Swissborg with the lending and borrowing, but yeah, it looks promising.
Yeah, wow, that's definitely a list. I got to look into some of these for sure. And I mean, obviously everyone watching, if you want to, learn more, obviously go and watch Bitcoin Live, and you'll get a lot more of their picks and what they're investing in. But yeah, I definitely need to look into a lot more of those for sure. There's so much out there that sometimes it's hard to really navigate through all of that and find the good coins. So people like yourselves who are looking into a lot of these, definitely it's great to get that insight. But obviously, none of this is financial advice, of course.
No.
Yeah. So no, that's fantastic. I'm definitely going to look into some of those and maybe invest a little bit. But for me, I've consolidated a lot back into Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm kind of playing it safe because it's worked.
That's smart.
But yeah, I definitely want to maybe expand a little bit more and look into some of these different tokens, because there's a lot out there. And to your point about Celsius, I'm going to do like a review of all the different lending platforms soon because
Nice.
I tested all of them out, and I actually do think Celsius was the best in terms of like easy to use, higher interest rates, just very easy to withdraw. A lot of them, well, some of them make it very challenging to withdraw, or they'll make you like KYC when you try to withdraw, and they make it just like not a very easy process. So yeah, definitely Celsius is a good one to be looking at.
You should invite Kevin, Crypto Flippin. He's one of the people from the community who's really trying to get Celsius the attention it deserves, because a lot of people are not talking about Celsius. But
and he's
it's
also
a really great
very
project.
big holder, so he's been in Celsius since the beginning.
He's very knowledgeable.
Yeah, very
Awesome,
great.
Nice guy.
So what is your take on crypto lending then? Do you think, like, I guess a couple things. Do you think it's a good way to make passive income, or are you better off, staking your crypto, or maybe are you just better off just like holding crypto that you think is going to go up? Do you think that's a better way to go about investing? What is your take on that?
I think what you are doing, just holding Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's the safest way. And for sure if you'll just hodl, and it sounds easy, but it's very difficult, because even Bitcoin drops sometimes 30, 40, even 50%.
Yeah.
And then you have to have steel balls, if I can say that. But then it's very hard to hodl. And also the fear of missing out of an opportunity that arises from, for example, Chainlink or Polkadot or some other coin.
But also, when it drops, it's very difficult, because you don't know it will drop for sure. And if you sell and buy in later, but if it goes up,
then you miss the boat.
So it's like
but hodl long term is by far for certain, if you hold Bitcoin, and I think also Ethereum, it's the most safe play, and you will make lots and lots and lots of money. But at some point you won't want to get out of Bitcoin, because there won't be any money, only Bitcoin, but it will be in way longer. But on the other hand, if you have less to invest, and you have researched your coins, and you believe, for example, in Celsius or in Swissborg, or in another DeFi or CeFi company, check them out and watch maybe your video first, Scott. But try a little bit if you can get it out easily, and if it works for you, then just put some money in there. And if you get 20% and you don't look at it anymore, besides if the coin goes up in value, but if it stays the same, then you make a lot of money. If you put it in the bank, you'll lose, or you get zero interest, or you pay a little bit to even open an account and hold it. You can use it. And if you put it in there and then you leave it for 5 years, then it has doubled on you, or even more.
But I also think we already mentioned it, but Bitcoin is basically the pristine collateral. So of course they're gonna lend against it, and lending is necessary for growth. And it's a very interesting feature to try out for yourself and see how it works. Because first you have to learn how to use it. For example, Celsius, you have to try it. And I wouldn't advise using all your money.
No, just small amounts at first.
So you have to see what works for you for yourself. And but it can be a very useful feature. And staking, I see a lot of exchanges are now offering staking standardly. Like a standard feature for many exchanges is you can stake it. Some stake it automatically. It probably means they're taking most of the profit.
But you get a small amount of the
stake. You do it's like way more than in a bank. In the bank you get nothing or negative at the moment. So at the moment, if you buy Bitcoin, even if it's on an exchange, you get the price increase of Bitcoin and the staking increase of Bitcoin, and you can even, if you want to try it out, borrow or lend against it and make a profit that way. So it's like, and if you earn your crypto, like we are trying to do, and I think you are more successfully at doing, you get like double, quadruple whammy. So what's not to like about that?
So also do something in crypto, learn about it.
That's the best way. Build
your network. and just enjoy learning about it. I think it's the best way to be in front of the market, or what you say. We're still early. We're maybe 2, 3, 4% of the people in the world know about crypto and blockchain.
Yeah.
But the people who really invest it, I think the most wallets hold less than $1,000 in total in crypto.
Yeah.
So if you, I'm not holding that much money in crypto, but a little bit more.
And maybe
if
also
the rest follows at one point, and it will happen, then you're in front of 89% of everyone that's out there.
It might be also funny to say, which ties into most of the questions you asked, but we also have like a future image of why crypto will be.
This is a funny story.
So we love space, and I actually had somebody from. He wrote a book, Blockchain and the Space Economy. Samson Williams, a really great guy, great interview also. He'll probably be back on. But yeah, we always had the vision that crypto will be used in space. It will be part of the space economy. You can't send gold to the moon, and
way too
with
heavy.
colonies it wouldn't work. You wouldn't use paper money, or so it would be digital money. And of course, if you have colonies and maybe one central bank on Earth, maybe a central bank on the moon, central bank on Mars, it would make a lot of sense that you use
crypto,
a trustless network, a blockchain to use in that kind of economy.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine sending how long it would take to e-transfer or wire money from the moon to here or from Mars, right? So, what are some of your favorite blockchain applications and or social media decentralized applications?
So we're gonna use Library.
Okay. Yeah.
But we are still busy because we don't have enough time. But we want to integrate our YouTube channel with Library because we have heard from some people
like Scott Cunningham,
and that's very interesting and useful to do so. So we're gonna do that. And I know maybe Discord doesn't fit your definition of a social media platform, but we do also gonna try our own Bitcoin Live Discord channel.
Okay.
And see how that works. Maybe even launch a coin of ourselves. These are still this. You heard it here first. This is like a.
It's still in beta.
Yeah. We're gonna try these things out to see how they work. We have got some ideas about what to do with this, and apart from that. I personally only know coins that do it, like Theta, but I saw you burn it to the ground. so I'm not sure. It is rising, so I was kind of curious.
It's working together with Samsung. So
actually, Samsung dropped their partnership. If you go to the webpage, it just says 404 error, and they deleted their article that talked about it. They just quietly removed their article.
That's not very good news for Theta then.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. For any project that I've criticized, like DLive or Theta, it's not necessarily that I think that their value won't go up, but the things about the project I don't like, I would assume other people would also not like. But they do have major backing. I mean, they've got advisors from Twitch, YouTube, and tons and tons of money in it. So it's not like I don't think it'll go up because, people might just invest in it regardless. For me, it's one simple question. Can I withdraw my funds from the platform? And Theta.tv, the answer is no. So, it's as simple as that for me. But, for everyone else to each their own. I mean, I think Theta nodes are great. So, completely not looking at Theta.tv, the Theta network, it was fine before Theta.tv, but that kind of makes it a little bit sketchier in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, and the apps that we use, I think. I'm
really curious about Twitter because Jack Dorsey is thinking about creating a decentralized Twitter application, and that they'll only be like the providers or the searchers within that space, but that it will be fully decentralized. So I was really curious if you got that news and what you think about that news.
Yeah, I actually hadn't heard that yet, but my suspicion would be Facebook, when they were coming out with Libra, they also said it was decentralized, but it would have been decentralized by the 100 most, one of the 100 most richest companies in the world, each having 1% of control. And they said that was decentralized because they didn't have central authority, but they put the central authority in all of their other, big tech, rich friends. So, how decentralized is that really? That'll be the main thing that I'll be looking at when that happens, if that happens. But I'd be definitely interested and excited. I mean, I'm not a fan of how, PayPal holds the Bitcoin that you're investing in, but what it does for the space is really, really great. And if people start to look into it more, then they'll realize, oh, I'm supposed to actually buy Bitcoin on an exchange and then hold it in a wallet that I own. So my hope would be that, people see Twitter and, maybe you can't earn platform rewards or it's not really fully decentralized. And they say, well, is there anyone else doing this? And then they find Library and they find Hive and all these other platforms. And then they realize, that kind of just gets them initiated into blockchain social media. And then they kind of go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, nice. Because your two picks are Hive and Library, right?
I mean, if I had to only pick two, I guess I would say those. My top recommendations would probably be Brave browser, which isn't really social media, but you can sort of integrate it with you can get tips on your Twitter or YouTube and stuff. So I would say Brave browser. And then for actual social media, I say PublishOX, Read.cash for blogging, and then Hive for the entire network, Library for the entire network. There might be a few other ones, but those are kind of the main ones that I'm focused on and I think have the best potential. But yeah, Library and Hive are by far the most decentralized, I would say.
Yeah, we'll check them out and we'll try to get. I opened a Bitcoin Live account on Library, but we have to fit it in the code into YouTube so we can live stream on Library.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Scott about that. It's just a matter of time.
yeah, that's the hope, right? Yeah, I think the issue with live streaming is that if it's on the blockchain, there's not enough there's not enough bandwidth, I guess, to be live streaming actually on the blockchain. So maybe they'll find something around that. Maybe they'll do a centralized solution for live streaming, but everything else is decentralized. I'm not sure what that'll look like exactly. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that would play out for sure. So that is everything from my end. Where can everyone go to learn more about Bitcoin Live and where can they follow you guys?
Well, they can follow us on Twitter. We're almost every day we're on Twitter at @JDalmulder and
CryptoND.
CryptoND1. And of course on YouTube on Bitcoin Live. And we also have, Nick has a Facebook page.
Yeah, it still exists. Right now I'm only reposting our interviews because it's just...
But there's a lot of great stuff there. Nick made a lot of articles there, and we have some guest writers on there, Kitsune, who also does some great stuff about crypto and blockchain and energy. And that's Bitcoin Live JN. It's on Facebook. So, and that's about it.
Yeah, we're also working on a website, but it's not around.
That's under construction.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
And soon at Discord.
And Discord but it will take a little while because we are really busy. Like you said, we do at least 5, but most of the time 7 or 8 interviews a week.
And a full-time.
We both have a full-time job. I have 4 kids and a wife and a dog and 3 cats. So I'm always busy. But when I make enough money, and that I think it will take, in my opinion, 3 to 5 years, then I think I will be financially independent and can do this full time.
But I also want to do a shout out to you because you're doing a really amazing job.
Thanks.
And I love the content you're producing.
Very valuable content, and also very nice to chat with you. But you do some awesome research and very meticulous. And I think that's something that the crypto space needs. People in a positive but critical manner test the waters for people who don't have the time or the experience or the know-how.
And also
do
really
so.
focus on one area.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So really glad to have met you, and I hope to talk to you more, Scott, on your channel and on our channel, Bitcoin Live.
Yeah.
Maybe hope to see you when the lockdowns disappear. We just chat to an NFT artist, Nathan from now I forgot his name. No,
From
Love is the answer. Sorry, but to have an event and then meet all kinds of different people from the crypto and blockchain space, and have a nice sort of party and exchange of ideas, and get together.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thank you so much for being on the show and for having me on your show. Everyone, make sure to go follow them, check out their content, subscribe to their YouTube, all that great stuff. And hopefully soon follow them on Library and a few other decentralized platforms once they get set up. But again, thank you so much for being on the show. I think there's lots that people can learn from you guys and what you're doing. Definitely go check out, what they're investing in. Check out some more of their speculative stuff that they're doing. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Bitcoin goes to 300,000 or more this year.
No doubt in my mind, Scott. Nice.
It will be a good year.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Awesome. All right. Well,
thanks for having
cheers.
us.
Take care.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.